Deborah's story is one of courage, wisdom, and faith in God, making her an extraordinary figure in the Bible. She was a judge, prophetess, and leader during a time of great turmoil for Israel. Her role was unique, not just because she was a woman in a male-dominated society, but because of the amazing impact she had on her people. So who was Deborah, and why is she so significant? Deborah was chosen by God to lead Israel at a time when the nation was suffering under the oppression of the Canaanite king, Jabin. Unlike other judges, who were primarily military leaders, Deborah was also known for her wisdom and prophetic insight. She held court under a palm tree between Ramah and Bethel, where the Israelites would come to her to have their disputes settled. This is where we first see her amazing ability to lead, as the people trusted her to provide just rulings and to seek God's guidance. But Deborah's role went beyond that of a judge. God used her as a prophetess, delivering his messages to the people. One of her most significant acts as a prophetess was calling Barak, a military leader, to lead an army against Jabin's commander, Sisera. When Barak hesitated, Deborah didn't waver. She agreed to go with him, but she told him that the honor of victory would not be his. Instead, God would give it to a woman. This prophecy was fulfilled when Jael, another courageous woman, killed Sisera, bringing an end to his tyranny. Deborah's leadership wasn't just about military might, it was about spiritual strength. She encouraged Barak to trust in God's promise of victory. She knew that success didn't come from human strength alone, but from God's amazing power and faithfulness. Her song, recorded after the victory, is a powerful testament to her faith and leadership. In it, she praises God, recounts the victory, and acknowledges the contributions of the various tribes and individuals involved. The victory over Sisera and the subsequent peace that followed were clear demonstrations of God's intervention through Deborah. Her leadership brought about 40 years of peace for Israel, a period of stability and rest from oppression. This peace was a direct result of her faithfulness to God and her willingness to follow his commands without hesitation. Deborah's story is also significant because it shows that God's calling is not limited by gender, social status, or any other human distinction. She was a woman in a time when leadership roles were almost exclusively held by men, yet God chose her to lead, to judge, and to deliver his people. This reminds us that God equips those he calls, regardless of who they are or where they come from. How did Deborah become such an amazing leader? It was through her unwavering faith in God and her willingness to serve him in whatever way he asked. She didn't seek her own glory or power, but was fully committed to God's will. Her story teaches us that when we trust in God and follow his guidance, he can use us in amazing ways, even in the face of overwhelming challenges. Is there a type of Christ in Deborah's story? While Deborah herself is not a direct type of Christ, her role as a deliverer and judge does point to the ultimate deliverer, Jesus Christ. Just as Deborah brought peace and justice to Israel, Jesus brings peace and salvation to all who trust in him. Deborah's leadership foreshadows the amazing way Jesus would lead and deliver his people, not just for a time, but for eternity. Deborah's story is for anyone who feels called to serve God, no matter their background or circumstances. It's for those who need a reminder that God can use anyone, anywhere, to accomplish his purposes. It's for those who face overwhelming odds and need encouragement to trust in God's promises. And it's for those who seek to lead with wisdom, faith, and courage, knowing that true success comes from God alone.